Hello from the Windy City as we settle in for the NWSL side of a doubleheader with the MLS's Chicago Fire calling the historic Soldier Field home for the first time ever. It's the Chicago Red Stars hosting the San Diego Wave. Now, alongside Dan Lauletta, I'm Maura Sheridan. Glad to have you along with us. Let's take a look at the NWSL standings. And Dan, these two teams at the very top.
They are. The Wave were at the top going into last week's break, but the Thorns got the jump on them, played last night, beat Louisville 2-1, so they're now top of the table. You see where the Red Stars are, and as Red Stars head coach Chris Petrucelli told us a couple of days ago, look at the standings. It feels like a big game, and I think it is.
Well, Alyssa Motz is going to retire after tonight's game, 10 years in the NWSL, and she's always been with the Chicago Red Stars.
Yeah, right from 2013. She's been with them through playoff berths. She's been with them through non-playoff seasons. She played for them in the NWSL Championship last year. This will be her final NWSL match. Then it's on to a coaching career.
Well, she's not going to be in the starting 11 today because some really heavy hitters are back for Chicago.
Yeah, Alyssa Nair in the back is the goalkeeper that comes back after helping lead the United States into the Olympics and the World Cup next 2 years. And it's going to be, this is the starting 11 that they want, headed lined here by Mallory Pugh.
Well, Mallory Pugh is back. 6 goals in 7 matches when she was healthy with Chicago. They are very happy to have her return.
I think far and away the most dominant offensive player in the NWSL in the first half of the season.
Well, for San Diego, huge news this week. They signed Jaden Shaw, who is just 17 years old, Dan, and she's going to get the start today.
Yeah, right off the bat, and it's only a 1-week stopover because she's off to play for the U20s. Then she'll be back later in the season. But clearly, it's not just a token signing for the future. They think she's the real deal if she's in the starting 11 tonight.
Well, Shaw's going to be paired up in the midfield. We'll take a look at this starting 11 for San Diego. Of course, some big names return for them as well.
Yeah, Morgan is back. She's got 11 goals. And the center back pairing of Naomi Girma, who was with the U.S. national team, and Abby Dahlkemper, who has been with the national team and has won a World Cup with them. That is the pairing that we all want to see, and how can they mesh going forward now that they're finally healthy and in the lineup together?
Well, again, here's a little-known player, Alex Morgan. 11 goals in 10 matches. I'm kidding. She is one of the best players in the NWSL, and she has shown out this season.
Yeah, she got the 4-goal game against Gotham early this season. That tied the league record and got her going, 11 goals, and it might be time to put the record watch on because Sam Kerr's got 18. She did that, ironically, with the Red Stars.
Well, for the second time ever, the Red Stars and the Wave will kick off from Soldier Field on the other side of the break. From Soldier Field in Chicago, we get set for the Chicago Red Stars hosting the San Diego Wave. Alongside Dan Lauletta, I'm Moira Sheridan. We are so happy to have you along with us. Dan, these two teams have already played this season. It was way at the start of the regular season, and San Diego won 2-1 May 15th. A lot has changed since then, and Mallory Pugh is back in the lineup for Chicago. She was not there the last time these two teams met.
That was when we were just kind of wondering, are the Wave the real deal? And I think they've shown between then and now that they are. Red Stars, meanwhile, in that May 15th game, they didn't lose until their most recent game, the 4-1 loss in Houston.
Referee today is Danielle Chesky. As you see, Alex Morgan returning from her time with the U.S. Women's National Team. Of course, they won a CONCACAF championship, secured a spot in the World Cup in 2023 and in the Olympics, as we're off from Soldier Field. San Diego in white, Chicago in black. This is game 2 of a doubleheader. NWSL and MLS linked up today. Chicago Fire played Atlanta United just a couple hours ago, really, here on Soldier Field. And it was a scoreless draw.
So the fans who've been around for the duration probably looking for something to hit the back of the net sooner than later.
Well, we've got some good options in this one, Dan. Talked about Mallory Pugh and just the way she's been scoring this year, 6 goals in 7 matches. And Alex Morgan has 11 goals this season for San Diego.
And Pugh, in the beginning of the season, it kind of seemed like if Pugh didn't score a goal that the Red Stars would be in some trouble. But I feel like with her out of the lineup, away with the U.S., that they really evolved a little bit. I think players like Ava Cook and Ella Stevens have really kind of taken that opportunity to step forward. So now we'll see, can they integrate themselves with Pugh on the field?
Here she is, Pugh, trying to find Nagasato in the box, bounces around. This is a Chicago team that has used a lot of different players. They have a lot of depth, according to Chris Petroselli, head coach for the Red Stars. They are very, very young as well, and we'll see Ava Cook, who's a rookie, paired up top with Mallory Pugh, Rachel Hill, Lubert. We'll see all of them mixed in. And of course, they've got a player like Ella Stevens waiting on the bench as well. Nagasato. There's Girma, back from her time with the U.S. Women's National Team. Just a steady force at center back for San Diego this season. 900 minutes played. She'd played every single minute until she had to leave. And you mentioned it, Dan, they're very excited about that pairing. The veteran leadership that Abby Dahlkemper represents, and then you have somebody like Girma, who's just a star in the making.
And a lot of people expected them to take Jalen Howell with the first pick in the NWSL draft, and it was a bit surprising for a lot of people that they went the defensive route and took Girma, but from my observations of the first half of the season, they absolutely made the right pick, got that one spot on.
McNabb trying to find Korniak, headed out. Well, when you think about Casey Stoney and traditionally the way she's coached and the way she played, you know, tends to have a more defensive mindset, and definitely showing it with signing Dahlkemper, drafting Girma. Yeah, they got Alex Morgan too, so. And she said, and so has some of her assistants, that, you know, sometimes the defensive rep is not necessarily what she wants to be known for, because it does seem like she's more of a complete coach than that and doesn't want to box herself in. But Stoney, of course, has done such a phenomenal job with San Diego in her first season as an expansion club that is really showing out here.
Well, I think that, you know, most coaches say they want to build a team from the back forward, and Stoney, along with former U.S. national team coach Jill Ellis, they had an opportunity. Ellis is kind of the architect of the team, the president. You know, they had an opportunity to do it with a blank canvas, and they really did build the team from the back to the front. And I think the most impressive thing about the Wave is how difficult they are to play against and break down.
Here comes Chicago. Girma intercepts, back to Kaylin Sheridan. Pugh right back at it for the Red Stars. Tries to make a move on the right side, shaded by Van Egmond. Move center. Went over the head and nearly out. does roll out there for Chicago. Kaylin Sheridan also back from her time with the Canadian women's national team. Just an unfortunate break for Canada. Of course, it's not too bad. They're still going to be in the World Cup. They clinched that, but ended up losing to the United States 1-0 in that championship game in CONCACAF, and it was Alex Morgan who buried a goal against Kaylin Sheridan, so teammates going head-to-head on an international stage.
The theory about that, not taking a penalty against your teammate, but Alex Morgan was up to the task on that one.
Pugh goes for it, and her cross leads to a corner. The magic of Mallory Pugh. We're already seeing it.
That was Germa back there getting in the way of that pass. That was a very nice ball inside. Let's take another look. Pugh with a little space, surveys the options, and Germa comes in there, disrupts it at the last minute before it can get through to Cook.
Pugh will take this. Looking for the header, punched out by Sheridan. That was intended for Rachel Hill. Right back at it is Pugh. Service in, off the head of Cook, bounces around, now Germa clears. Erin Wright in the starting lineup today throws it in. Sometimes that's Amanda Kowalski at right back for Chicago. Runs a 3-4-3. Morgan gets tripped up, draws a foul.
And a nice start for the Red Stars here through 6 minutes. They did have their winless streak, or their unbeaten streak, broken 2 weeks ago in Houston, but the game before that, they were trailing 2-0 against North Carolina when the clock hit 90 and got 2 quick goals in stoppage time. So that's in effect 2, mostly losing games in a row for the Red Stars. So nice for them to get off on a positive note in this one.
Right. Sends it back to Alyssa Nair, all the way into the stands here at Soldier Field. Of course, Alyssa Nair was with the U.S. Women's National Team. I mean, the truth is these teams are so good because they have a lot of very talented players sprinkled in that represent their countries on a national stage. Turnbow tries a cross, gets a corner off the foot of Erin Wright. So San Diego with a chance here on a set piece. Katie Johnson, former Red Star, to take this.
There's Taylor Korniak there right in the middle.
Through the air, and it's Korniak who heads it over the crossbar.
Not every tall player is good in the air, but Taylor Korniak has both the height and the ability to utilize it. You see here, she gets up, gets the head on it, just popped it kind of straight up in the air instead of directly on frame.
Korniak has 2 goals this year. It's actually in 1 game of brace for Korniak. Van Egmond played every single minute. A real iron woman for San Diego in that midfield. Again, paired up with Shaw today, who's just 17 years old. There's a lot of chatter about where she would end up. Ends up with San Diego. Gets a start at a huge stadium and a huge game. 2 of the top teams in the NWSL, so what an introduction for Shaw.
Yeah, it'll be something when she gets a little bit older to say, yeah, I made my NWSL debut at Soldier Field. How about you?
Absolutely. I'm sure they would love to say we took down the Chicago Red Stars as well. Milazzo trying to get it out of trouble. Tripped up right outside the box, no call there. DiBernardo with that clear.
Think about Alyssa Moss, who's been here since the start in 2013. That was when the Red Stars played at Benedictine University campus, a small college that sat about 3,000 or 4,000 people.
There's tons tons of growth in the NWSL, and of course this is just a really cool experience too for Chicago soccer fans who get to catch the Fire and then follow up with a little nightcap and see the Red Stars take on the San Diego Wave. DiBernardo, Nagasato. Hill waits for it. Accelerating in the area, Rachel Hill looks for a cross, booted out by Van Egmond. That Shaw turns it over to right, just a little bit behind Hill. Again, Sheridan, 4th all-time in saves. Before she joined Canada, was having a fantastic season. I mean, defensively, San Diego's just had a really good run so far, more than halfway through the year. There's 4 shutouts Sheridan does, and of course, Telford got a shutout. Carly Telford, the backup keeper, in the last, I guess it was 2 weekends ago against Racing Louisville. It was a scoreless draw, but Telford had to make a PK save against Savannah DeMello, and she did that. And her team was just delighted, even those watching abroad.
And that's when you really earn the shutout, right? Is when you save the PK, and it was late in that game too when she saved that PK.
And DeMello's kind of known for, just the way that she has a lot of texture to her shots and all of that. So it was a fantastic moment for Telford. And just talking to the coaching staff with San Diego, they say, she's earned that moment, and now Sheridan's back, and it's probably nice for Sheridan to have a really intense competition always in practice as Morgan shuffles, looking for that pass to Shaw.
And not to get too far off track from the game, but I like what Telford said after saving that PK and the media availability when she said that 3 or 4 racing players were kind of standing around, and she could tell that nobody really wanted to take it. She said, I got this. They're not confident. I'm confident. And she made the save.
Well, the San Diego team just has not really lacked a lot of confidence this year. They walked in as an expansion side with Angel City, and, Kansas City did not have a great start. Racing Louisville did it in their expansion year, and San Diego and Angel City have had the opposite approach. I think it helps when you have the weather and the beach and the vibe of San Diego, but again, what a club so far. In Chicago trying to ruin the party. Look at Lubert, just inside the box, gets tripped. Lubert is down.
It looks like she's holding on to her left shoulder. Must have been an awkward fall after that trip. A yellow card is out.
Now this should be a penalty, I guess, just depending on.
It was close.
Yeah, it was very, very close. Let's take another look at this. And Lubert and Dahlkemper going head to head.
It's really where the contact starts. I think that's probably outside.
Just outside.
Just barely.
A little bit lucky there for Dahlkemper, and Chicago will get a free kick from a fantastic spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the yellow card caution has been issued by the referee.
That is going to be, like you said, a card for Abby Dahlkemper very early in this contest, playing on a yellow. So Colaprico and Pugh are going to link up here. Kaylin Sheridan directing traffic, sets up that wall. Looks like it's going to be Pugh. From Pugh, looking for Nagasato, and it's deflected out. Not enough air on that one. Pugh, the swarm of San Diego jerseys all around her. Morse from behind. Lubert tangled up again, falls down.
Let's take one more look at this foul. Dahlkemper and Lubert. Lubert goes down. Nice to see her back up and into the action after favoring that left shoulder for a bit. Dahlkemper now has to play, assuming she's in for the long haul here. About 75 minutes on that yellow card.
Red Stars get it right back. 15th minute of this one. Chicago and San Diego, no score yet from Soldier Field. Lubert accelerates, now pulls it back. Colaprico. Swing off to Morse. Zoe Morse played every single minute. And that back line for Chicago. Wayward touch for Aaron Wright. And Chicago, I mean, they've been lucky to keep Morse and Milazzo together, but they've had to deal with a lot of adversity as Sheridan in a little bit of trouble here. Off to Girma. Hill bolts forward. Nagasato. Pugh. Nagasato again. Now Lubert takes a shot and is blocked. Off the rebound, cleared up into the stands. And the last one to touch looks like it will be a Red Stars corner.
That's an uncharacteristic giveaway in the back from Girma to get this play started. The Lubert shot gets blocked nicely by Westphal, and then Girma comes over to help out. Red Stars, though, as you said, get the corner kick.
From Pugh through the air, Sheridan punches it out, and Girma's trying to track down the ball. She does. Steadily passing ahead as Colaprico is whistled. Just back to my previous point, of course, Chicago a little decimated with injuries. Tierna Davidson tore her ACL at the beginning of the year, and then Kayla Sharples, who stepped in for Davidson, then tore her ACL. And it was just heartbreak after heartbreak for Petroselli and his squad, and yet they've responded extremely well. And someone like Morse, who doesn't have a ton of NWSL experience, has stepped in wonderfully to play that center back role in that three-back formation.
And don't forget that Sarah Waldmo and Casey Kruger missing the season, or most of the season, if not the entire season, because they're pregnant. Okay, Leah Watt doing the double duty, ACL, and got pregnant. So it's the Red Stars team that is sort of in transition, but if those players can come back in 2023, this can really be an interesting club to watch. And I'm certainly not writing off their chances in 2022. But they have an awful lot of really good players waiting in the wings who won't be around this year.
San Diego on a free kick. You see Alex Morgan, Seashaw. Of course, Korniaka is always a threat. It's Turnbow and Westphal up top. Westphal off her right foot through the air, headed out by Chicago, trying to get a shot off, and that one goes wide. Again, a look at Alyssa Nair, 33 years old. 3 shutouts this season. She's got 36 in her career. That's third all time. I mean, third all time in saves. We're looking at 2 of the best keepers in the league ever in this match. Nagasato with the swipe. Leading pass to Pugh, and it's too far ahead.
Nair's got a couple of World Cup titles under her belt, and one of them she wasn't a starter, and then second time around she made that incredible save on a penalty in the World Cup semifinal against England.
Hill with a quick throw in. Ava Cook, 3 assists this year for Chicago. Tries a service in, bounces around Colaprico. Lubert plays with it, now Pugh! Rebound is out of play.
Took a couple of deflections on the way to the Taylor Sheridan 6-yard box. I think everybody was off balance, and the waiver lucky this one didn't deflect more toward the open part of goal. There's Promise you there were a couple of deflections in there.
Well, now it's another corner for Chicago as you see Nagasato. Up in the air, dangerous. Korniak heads it down. Follow up deep, Bernardo blocked away. Pugh off to the races, splits the D. Mallory Pugh takes a shot, and it just goes wide. Ooh, San Diego, sigh of relief.
Well, I talked up the Wave at the top of the broadcast being a difficult side to play against, but an awful lot of emergency defending in the opening 20 minutes of this one. Right here, Mallory Pugh doesn't need a lot of time or space, just misses the frame, but not by a whole lot.
Yeah, remember these two sides already played, but Pugh was not there. And we got a whistle. Was dealing with a concussion at the very start of the regular season, and so she did not play in that match, and of course they missed her a lot. You know, Chicago had Cook score very late in that contest, but kind of felt out of it in the second half.
That concussion, by the way, came with a result of some friendly fire. It was a free kick in a Challenge Cup match against Kansas City, and free kick went right off Mal Pugh's face. That sidelined her for a few weeks. But when she came back, and she had already done it at the start of the Challenge Cup, she didn't miss a beat when she came back.
Yeah, that's the thing. 6 goals in 7 matches, but a lot of those goals came in non-starts. At the beginning, she wasn't starting because she was injured, and she would just come in and score.
Yeah, became the first player in league history to go 2 goals, 1 assist off the bench.
Right. Nair comes out, picks it up, and now rolls it out quickly to Hill. Chance here for San Diego. Johnson takes off. Bodies flying around for Chicago, just trying to eliminate any sort of pass in the box. Here's a turn for Cook, and she gets ripped down by Gurma, pretty obviously there.
Gurma's going to go in the book too, so now both Wave Central defenders, just 21 minutes and change into this match, are sitting on yellow cards. We will see if the Red Stars alter any of the ways they attack to try to put pressure on Dahlkemper and Gurma to pick up second yellow cards, or maybe to stay out of the way and give Red Stars an easier path into goal. And they're both no doubt yellow cards too.
One was almost a penalty, inches away from that. And Colaprico. DiBernardo over the head of Pugh. Van Egmond controls. Korniak. Hill muscles it away from Turnbow. Nagasato. Pugh. Luber on the wing, takes off, dishes it off to Pugh, denied. DiBernardo, her shot's blocked. Pugh still has it. Morse coming up defensively, off to Milazzo. From Colaprico, leading pass, Hill can't keep it in.
Red Stars with some good stuff here, though. Good ball movement. They're doing a little bit better in the 50-50 ball department. They are generally keeping the Wave on the run.
Yeah, it did feel like that Houston game last week was just a result of maybe being tired. And Petroselli, when we talked to him this week, when I said, can we talk about the Houston game, he said, can we not? I don't really want to. I think it's a one-off for Chicago. You won't see them, you know, have lopsided losses like that this year.
It didn't sound like he dwelled on it too much. You know, right after that week, there was a mandatory 1 week where the players were not allowed to be at the facility, and the coaches were not allowed to have any say as to what the players did. So it was basically a free week off for the players. And, you know, I think the Red Stars basically said, look, just wash your hands of this and come back next week and let's get ready to go.
Right, because it's not a trend with them yet. Doesn't appear like it will be. Nagasato, Gurma. Yuki Nagasato, just a fan favorite with the Red Stars. DiBernardo. Morse dealing with Alex Morgan. Haven't said her name too much. Van Egmond, Korniak. There's Morgan, but it's swiped by Morse. Looks like we got a player down for the Wave as you take a look at Casey Stoney having a few words with McNabb, and we'll have a little bit of a hydration break for both sides. And that's Alex Morgan.
And this is where, if you're the Wave, you take this opportunity to regroup a little bit, maybe make an on-the-fly tactical adjustment on the sideline, because it feels like every time there's a Wave player on the ball, there's a Red Star defender or two right there. But on the other side, every time there's a Red Star player on the ball, there's a Red Star teammate open somewhere close.
Yeah, an official hydration break right now. San Diego and Chicago scoreless so far. And what's interesting, Dan, is in that loss for Chicago to Houston, basically what was happening was the Dash were just throwing long balls for Ebony Salmon to get. She was getting them and scoring. San Diego hasn't really tried that yet. But you would think that that might be a way to beat this Chicago back line.
And that kind of is what the Red Stars were maybe expecting from the San Diego Wave. You know, when we talked at the beginning of the broadcast about Mal Pugh and Alex Morgan, I said that Pugh had been the most dominating offensive player in the league this season. And, you know, Morgan's got 11 goals to Pugh's 6. And yeah, Pugh is out with some injuries, but Pugh has done a lot more of her damage individually, where Morgan has kind of done more of like picking up pieces in the box and scoring. That's not to say that's an easy thing to do, but yeah, the Wave are not, I don't think, an overly sophisticated offensive team at this point.
Looks like Morgan's all right, and she'll come back in when she can. Got checked on, of course, by Casey Stoney as well. There she is, Alex Morgan returning. Here comes a little bit of a press from San Diego. Korniak to Van Egmond.
It's a little bit more of the Wave soccer we've come to expect.
Johnson all alone for Shaw. Scores! The 17-year-old in her first NWSL game puts San Diego up.
And it might be an exaggeration to say it, but was that her first touch of the evening? Because we have not mentioned Jaden Shaw's name very much in the opening 26 minutes. And what fantastic vision here by Katie Johnson to find Shaw. Here's Johnson getting in behind Morse. Instead of taking the shot, she puts Nair off balance. And it looked like maybe that first touch from Shaw would be too much, but no, she set herself up for something better. And what a way to make your professional debut.
Well, what a week for Jaden Shaw. This week, she was signed by an NWSL team at 17 years old in San Diego. She makes her debut as a starter at Soldier Field against Chicago, who's third in the league, and then she scores. Incredible. She'll never forget this moment, and now San Diego is just going to try to hang on to this lead. Guess they needed that hydration break, Dan.
I was going to say, do we give Casey Stoney a little half assist there for the hydration break tactical
Well, that had to be something
adjustment
that she had kind of drawn up there. But also, like you said, credit to Johnson for that feed, because I honestly didn't know where she was going with that, and clearly no one else did. Turnbow. Flicks it off to Nair. Dimes and covers.
I will say that goal was the definition of being against the run of play.
Absolutely. And San Diego, maybe boost of energy here from that Shaw goal. From Korniak, some curled her then. Nayer's able to pick it up. Morse. Right. Van Egmond. See Ava Cook racing around for Chicago. She did score against San Diego the last time these two teams played. It's her only goal this season. And just a rookie. Here's Cook. Shaw coming up. Looks for the cross. Johnson. Nagasato wide for Chicago. See Pugh in the middle there. That's who she tries to find, but Korniak reaches out and grabs it back. Turnbow. Right with the foul.
I think Turnbow's saying that's twice, looking for maybe a card.
Well, Turnbow's a pretty physical player.
There is no doubt about it. She's one of the younger players in the league, but she has not been shy about getting herself involved in tackles and dust-ups.
Yeah, just 23 years old. DiBernardo. Van Egmond. Again, if you're just tuning in, San Diego took the lead after a hydration break. Immediately after a hydration break. 27th minute. As we take a look at how this goal started.
That's Taylor Korniak with the defensive header to get it started. Katie Johnson, is going to make that pass, and 17-year-old Jaden Shaw on her pro debut, 1-0.
Again, she's the second player under 18 to sign with an NWSL team. The other one, Olivia Moultrie, is with the Portland Thorns, and she has had a really nice start to her career as well with a couple of goals, but she did not start in her first NWSL game, came in off the bench. Not that it really matters, but Pugh has a chance. No.
There's some nice quick 1-2 touch soccer here by the Red Stars. It's a little interplay with Pugh and Nagasato. Wave thought Pugh was offside, may well have been. Good coverage by Sheridan at the near post, and Pugh puts it off the side of the goal.
Petroselli has often talked about Nagasato and the chemistry that she's been able to build with players like Pugh, Ella Stevens as well. Nayer, Alex Morgan up to try to force a turnover, nearly does. Still not clear here for Chicago. DiBernardo. Dahlkemper, again at center back tonight, was banged up at the start of the year, finally healthy, able to play the last couple. She's now, this is 6 games and 6 starts for Dahlkemper. San Diego was the first signing for the Wave. Immediately followed up with Alex Morgan. Nice little 1-2 punch for Casey Stoney as she takes over. Gurma Van Egmond. Morgan. There's Shaw. Can't track it down. Gurma. Always so strong back there for San Diego. Denies Cook. Morgan. Korniak. Bounce around Tatum Milazzo every single minute for Chicago as well. DiBernardo. Nagasanto, she's got options. Goes with Hill on the wing. Rachel Hill. Centers. DiBernardo. Back to Hill. In the box for Chicago. Now we got a foul.
Kristen McNabb, the left back for the Wave tonight, I think has had a very strong start to this match. Very tough to get around 1v1.
And that's not where she's been playing for San Diego this year. Usually she's in the midfield paired up with Van Egmond. But today they've got her at left back because they traded Tegan McGrady
to Portland for Madison Pogarch.
Right.
And interesting timing because Pogarch just picked up her 5th yellow card, so she comes to the new team and is immediately on a 1-game suspension for card accumulation, so should be available next week. But, you know, McNabb was drafted in the 4th round, somewhere in the high 30s a few years ago, and really, I think for McNabb, she's made a nice career out of just floating around in different defensive positions.
Yeah, she scored in a huge moment, too, for San Diego in a sold-out crowd, Bank of California Stadium against Angel City. That was a thriller. San Diego lost. Morgan off the deflection. Nair comes out to ensure. We got a corner coming for the Wave. Jaden Shaw has the lone goal for San Diego so far. Gonna tally yet again.
You can see Shaw just right in front of the goal mouth there, hunting a second goal.
Nair punches it out. Korniak trying to get a foot on it. Shaw fights for it. And Colaprico wins out. Gurma. Lubert with it for the Red Stars. Waning minutes of the first half. Cook, Turnbow, heads ahead, and Cook gets called for a foul. Or did it go out? It might have just gone out.
Cook did give a little shove from behind.
Yeah.
I think the ball's coming back in play. Foul call against Cook, and I think the correct call.
Again, despite being top 3 in the league right now, neither team is coming off of a win. Now they're pretty much back in full force. There are a lot of players on international duty for both sides. Turnbow with the cross. Colaprico boots it out. Nagasanto now controls. I will say that Sophia Jakobsen is still not available for San Diego on international duty. He's playing in the Euros with Sweden. Presumably will be back the next match for the Wave. Shaw moves to the middle, rips a shot, and it's over the crossbar. My goodness.
Jaden Shaw not wasting any time integrating herself into this NWSL environment.
Fearless.
Some good footwork here, gets herself into space.
Well, we're seeing why there was a little bit of a fight for where she was going to land. Foul goes against Nagasato. So a good spot for San Diego. Of course, the fans at Soldier Field strongly disagree with Chesky, who's the referee today. DiBernardo has some words.
That's the former Red Star Katie Johnson who drew the foul. Wasn't the best times of Katie Johnson's career in Chicago. Formerly also played for the Reign and Sky Blue, who's now Gotham. Seems to have found a pretty good home here, though, in San Diego, which is maybe the case for most of the players on this roster. There's certainly been good chemistry in the early stages.
Westphal Turnbow again on this free kick. It's Westphal with her right foot through the air. Morse got ahead on that. Milazzo, high kick. We got fouled. Definitely came in too high.
Yeah, no doubt about that call either. And the second consecutive dangerous free kick opportunity coming up for the Wave. This last one, it looked like it might have gotten to a teammate on the far post, but just didn't have quite enough loft on it. And there's Milazzo coming in hard with the foul on the end there.
So right at the edge of the area, San Diego will take this free kick. It's Turnbow up top. Again, always looking for Korniak. 6'1" she stands. And of course, we saw Shaw score earlier tonight. Morgan's in the mix as well for the Wave. Trying to double the lead from Turnbow. Goes for it, and it's over the crossbar.
There's a lot to be impressed about when you watch this Wave team as an expansion side, but one of them is their ability to play well and get results in a lot of different sorts of environments. And they were on the back foot for 24 minutes or so until Morgan went down and we got that little hydration break. And then they came right back and scored immediately, but they've been the better side since. And they played the game against the Thorns where they were clearly the better team, but were down 2-0 on two kind of weird goals, but they came back, got the two back, worked out a draw. It's not a thing that young teams do very often, so that's a big credit to Casey Stoney and this Wave coaching staff.
From Nair, floats that one up to the circle. DiBernardo controls. Racing back because of that pressure from Johnson. You can see Stoney there in the pink jacket. First-year head coach for San Diego. So Wave team trying to get back in first place with 3 points. Portland had a win yesterday. Pew has something to say about it. Off to Lubert. Lubert tries to tuck it in the corner, but it's Germa right on the goal line who clears it out.
Looks like that was about to be an own goal off Germa, and then she made a quick recovery. Got it out of trouble.
Germa's 21 years old. She does not play like it at all.
No, she does not. And it's maybe the most difficult position other than goalkeeper to play with so much poise at such a young age. Here's one, and maybe it didn't go off of her, but it hit off of Sheridan. But either way, good emergency defending there from Germa.
Chicago has been knocking on the door a couple of times here, but don't have a goal to show for it. Nagasato. Piu. DiBernardo. Off McNabb. DiBernardo again. Tries to find Piu. Right comes up. Shaw. Pokes it out. Morse back to her keeper and Nair. See that pressure from Alex Morgan. We're going to get 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated that a minimum of 2 minutes will be added to the first half. 2 minutes.
It does feel like whenever the Red Stars get into trouble, it's when they can't advance the ball from their back line, and whether that's Nair playing it on the ground or even with her feet, which is what led to the goal. That's when Korniak got her head on it. Once the ball gets to here, Red Stars have been pretty good.
Few to right. Colaprico swings it. DiBernardo. Malazzo coming up. Bolt of speed. Lubert keeps it in on the touchline. Nagasato back to Lubert. Long touch, gets cut off, and it's cleared out. You can hear how the Red Stars fans feel. Lubert. Nagasato trying to keep it in the box. Cook. Denied. That was Korniak lunging forward. Hill takes off, keeps it in, breaking ankles. Hill looking for the cross. Germa denies. That's out. DiBernardo can't believe it. And we get the whistle to end the first half. And what a first half it was.
Yeah, that was fun. Red Stars were the brighter team for the first half of that half. And then a quick counterattack goal off a turnover by 17-year-old Jaden Shaw gives San Diego the 1-0 lead heading to the break.
First game, no problem for Jaden Shaw. She put San Diego up 1-0 at halftime. We'll be back to break this all down on the other side of the break. Again from Soldier Field, it's a wave up on the Red Stars. Back after this. Welcome back to Soldier Field. San Diego up on Chicago at halftime. And as always, there is a ton of action going on in the NWSL, including some Friday night lights last night. Let's take a look at the highlights from Racing Louisville and Portland. And it started out with, well, Smith is back. Sophia Smith is back, and she's back in a big way.
Yeah, one of the special young players in the NWSL, and that goal right there gave the Thorns the early 1-0 lead on the road against Louisville.
Well, this was a crazy goal for Racing Louisville to tie it up. This is Chidiac. This is her first NWSL score, and what angle did she have?
Yeah, that's about as close to the goal line as you can get without being out of bounds, but in the end it was Ina Sugita.
Yeah, you just
right
see
there.
Sugita poking it home for Portland. That's exactly how we kind of expected that one to play out. Portland ends up winning and picks up 3 points on the weekend. North Carolina and Washington, this one was delayed because of lightning, or we had a pause because of lightning, and then Trinity Rodman was back and as good as ever for Washington.
Yeah, unfortunately for Washington, they would go ahead in this game on 3 separate occasions, but on 3 separate occasions, the Courage would come back and equalize. There's some good work by Brittany Ratcliffe for one of those 3 equalizers.
Yeah, you see, again, Washington taking the lead. It's Mickey Owen with her first goal this season, just off kind of a crazy play there, heads it home. And
those 3 goals were like the last 3 minutes of the first half.
Right. This all happened in about a 20-minute stretch. 6 goals in about 20 minutes as Ordonez then ties it up for North Carolina. That makes it 2-2. And again, these are 2 teams at the very bottom of the league right now. It didn't really seem like it. There's so much talent there as Trinity Rodman nets a brace. North Carolina just has another answer on the other end, despite the Rodman magic that we're so accustomed to.
There's the penalty off the ball there on the left of your screen with Ratcliffe going down, and Ordonez goes to the spot. He will match Rodman with the brace and match Washington in a 3-3 draw. That was a really entertaining game, but really not what either team needed.
Well, Chicago and San Diego has proved to be entertaining so far. We will have highlights from the first half and what is a 1-0 lead for San Diego on the other side. Well, you can see it's starting to become night at Chicago, the Windy City. Right now, the home side at Soldier Field down 1-0 to San Diego. And here are the highlights. Now, Dan, Chicago definitely seemed to be dominating early. Here's an early look for San Diego off of Korniak. But, you know, prior to this, Chicago Red Stars seems ready to roll.
Yeah, the Red Stars came in off of their worst performance of the season, and they really took it to San Diego for the first 20-25 minutes of this one. Here's an opportunity that got blocked inside. Wave did a good job with their final line of defense throughout the course of the early part of this game. And there's a shot by Pugh that goes just wide, but there's Taylor Korniak creating a turnover. Then a little flick to Katie Johnson, and watch Johnson. Looks like she's going to shoot. Nope, finds Jayden Shaw. One touch, Nayer's on the ground. Not a bad way to mark your NWSL debut at 17 years old for Jayden Shaw.
Yeah, just selfless there from Johnson. Shaw buries the shot, and that's the difference in this one so far. Now Chicago's had some more opportunities. Of course, when you have Mal Pugh, you saw her earlier split the defense. Nagasato finds Pugh, and Pugh has a seam and just goes wide.
Yeah, again, good give and go there with Pugh finding Nagasato and then moving into the space vacated. Just couldn't beat Sheridan to the near post.
So here are the stats for you right now. You can see the numbers. Chicago dominating in terms of shots, but on goal, just one apiece.
Yeah, also of note here is that both San Diego center backs, Abby Dahlkemper and Naomi Gurma, got early yellow cards, so they got to play the rest of the way on yellow cards. And Jayden Shaw, by the way, youngest player to score on her NWSL debut and second youngest ever to score behind Olivia Moultrie.
Well, we will start the second half on the other side between Chicago and San Diego. The Wave currently lead 1-0 at halftime. Back after this. Welcome back to Soldier Field. Well, it's Red Stars territory. We got some Alex Morgan fans in the crowd, as always, and San Diego is up 1-0. That's Morgan's side. You see, let's go, Alex. Of course, she is a very popular player across the globe in soccer. And I think we might have seen a goal from a very future, no, I'll reword this, a future star across the globe in Shaw.
Yeah, you know, we were kind of trying to figure out whether we would see Jaden Shaw in the lineup this weekend, and we were kind of told that she was available, but, you know, it was kind of vague, and then the lineups popped up, and there she was, and then the Wave scored a goal, and there she was, and she wasn't shy. Remember, it didn't make our highlight package, but she took that second shot from about 25 yards out, and it didn't miss by a whole lot. It's been impressive so far.
And you see Jaden Shaw with that finish in the 27th minute. That's the difference in this game, as we played one half of action here in Chicago. But it is not a comfortable lead for San Diego at all, because Chicago has plenty of scoring options. You've seen Lubert, who has a goal this year. Of course, Malpew has 6. And then you've got someone like Ella Stevens who could come in. She's got 3 goals. They've got some options on the bench as well, and Fisher and Griffith, etc., who can score. So if you're San Diego, you got to probably find another one here.
And I do feel like the Red Stars had the majority of the better chances, you know, the good scoring chances in that opening half, even though San Diego has the lead, and they did have a few other chances, but the Red Stars were swarming around that Wave goal box for quite a while in that first half. So we'll see. It looked like maybe when they had the hydration break that the Wave made a tactical adjustment or two, and that turned things a bit. We'll see who did what at halftime. But we got the same 11 for both sides on to start half number 2.
Alex Morgan will start with the ball for San Diego. And here we go. Underway is the second half here in Chicago. Again, just a second ever meeting between these two clubs. And I think if a lot of the personnel stays the same on these two sides, this could be quite the rivalry moving forward. You just gotta have a feeling if you have Morgan and you got Pugh on each side, that's gonna lead to some great games.
Well, this one has certainly been fun to watch so far. We'll see what we have in store the rest of the way. Home fans, though, starved for a goal. As you mentioned, the MLS opener in this doubleheader was 0-0 between the Fire and Atlanta United. Jaden Shaw got us off the schneid, but still no goals for the Chicago team today.
Colaprico commits a foul. Disagrees. As of late, Chicago has been, kind of scoring later in the second half. We touched on 2 games ago, the 2 Saka-Chunk goals to come back and earn a draw against North Carolina. I'm sure they don't want to find themselves in that situation, but even scored late against Houston in the second half. It was kind of a nothing goal, but still a nice finish from Fisher. Morgan! Saved by Nair! Off the rebound! Cleared out by Milazzo on the ground.
That was Jaden Shaw again that got that play started.
Westfall tries a cross, and Wright sends it out. We'll have a corner. The thing about this game is I feel like you really can't take too many breaths, because each side is always off to the races. You see denial by Nair. Milazzo's on the ground and somehow gets a pretty decent clear. Right back at it for the Wave. It's Johnson. Up and out. Goal kick for Nair. Again, Katie Johnson has the assist today. This is just her second start, though, with the Wave this season. What a start it's been, 27 years old. Again, see Dahlkemper, one to head it out, but DiBernardo settles. Van Egmond, Gurma. Colaprico flicks that one forward. Lubert looking for Cook. Cook tries to get an edge, fighting for positioning with Dahlkemper. Puts a shot on, reaching out is Sheridan to make the grab.
How about that work from Ava Cook around the former international Abby Dahlkemper? That's good work by Lubert, and it looks like that's all Dahlkemper, but Cook says not so fast. And well read by Sheridan. I probably shouldn't call Abby Dahlkemper a former international quite yet.
Well, Dahlkemper's 3 times been on the best 11 list in the end of the year for the NWSL. And again, just kind of dealing with some injuries. DiBernardo, full 360. Off to Malpew. Milazzo. We've seen 2, and of course, the storyline of this game has been Shaw so far, and of course the pass from Johnson, but we've seen 2 great defensive plays by Milazzo and by Gurma. In the first half for San Diego, Gurma really saved it off the goal line, and we saw Milazzo do a similar thing, and it both started with saves from the keeper too. Pugh looking to get one back for Chicago. Burst of speed, Gurma redirects, has to dish it off. Back to Pugh, and it floats to Sheridan.
Here's a good look at what Mallory Pugh can do in the open field. That being said, looked like Pugh was trying to cut to her right where there might have been more space to the left.
And that was Gurma who got back. Milazzo. Nagasato. Pugh again. Going to work. Up the middle. Off to Lubert. Cuts it back. Here's a shot, and Sheridan bobbles and saves. Cook had an opportunity there for Chicago.
Well, that time Pugh did have a teammate on the left side in Lubert. And the Wave have to realize this is way too much time and space to give to Mal Pugh. Lubert with a nice cross takes a deflection, and the one-time shot by Cook is right at a perfectly positioned Kaylin Sheridan.
It is interesting every time you talk to opposing coaches about how to stop Mal Pugh. It's just a puzzling question, I think, for everybody. No one has an answer. Here she is again. Mal Pugh from the top of the box, and it's wide.
She seems to have entered the phase of her career as well where she can both score and distribute. And when you get a player that is as dangerous, as you look at that last opportunity again, when you get a player that is equally as dangerous shooting and distributing, it's very difficult to kind of get the right vibe on how to defend her. As you look at Chris Petroselli, who's in his first season with the Red Stars.
Yeah, Petroselli has told us that he's just a very, even-keeled guy. He's not somebody that's going to get too high or too low. Of course, it's been a lot of highs for Chicago so far in the regular season. Just the 2 losses right now, currently in 3rd place. Could move up to 2nd if they're able to somehow come back and beat San Diego today. Lubert puts one in the box as that one picked up by Sheridan. Tangled up there, goes down. Draws that foul, Kelsey Turnbow.
Milazzo called for that foul, and you were talking about Milazzo a little while ago. Casey Stoney, I think, is asking for the yellow card to come out, but I think Milazzo has done a very nice job at making his left back position on this Red Stars team her own.
From Illinois, from Orland Park. And I said she's played every minute of every game so far this year for Chicago, working with pretty much a completely different back line this year.
Different formation too, because there wasn't a lot of three-back play for the Red Stars prior to the Petroselli era beginning this year. And he was a late hire too. He didn't come in until about 2 weeks into preseason, and it wasn't the type of thing where he was working with the team and then they made him the permanent coach. He came in blind 2 weeks into preseason.
Cook bounced around on that one. Morgan, Turnbow, still through the air. Finally lands to Cook. Barely. Van Egmond, everybody's flying around, and Cook's gonna get the foul. Hugh looking for some help. Cuts back, takes a shot, and it ricochets off a body. It'll be a corner for Chicago.
There was a great flick in that play in midfield, and I didn't see who it was off, but that opened up that entire sequence.
Again, we're at Soldier Field in Chicago. The first time the Red Stars have played here. They did not even practice here this week. Fantastic crowd in attendance, and now a set piece for the home side. Again, looking to even the score. Been down since the 27th minute. From Pugh, back post, and Sheridan leaps up. Colaprico back in position. Morgan on her back. Turnover off to Shaw. Johnson, Van Egmond. Morgan again. Up that wing. Tries a little cross. Shaw can't get a foot on it. That's cleared out by Morse. Excuse me, Milazzo.
I know we're more used to Morgan playing on the left-hand side, but the Red Stars might want to consider sending someone over to be a little closer to Alex Morgan when she's anywhere near the ball.
She's got it now. Pugh. This is trouble. Lots of green for Malpugh. Takes a shot, Gurma denies. Morgan the other way, Milazzo cuts it back, keeps it in. Colaprico, not a Morse. Again, Dan Laletto, Morris Sheridan, glad to have you along with us. Morgan in the box, takes a shot, and Nair denies.
There's Jaden Shaw once again in the mix. Terrific ball, switching the point of attack to Morgan. That first touch might have just escaped her a little bit. Had to reach maybe a little more than she wanted to. A good save by Nair. Well, we talked about Dahlkemper having a yellow card. And it looks like she got another one to equal the red. Just handed the captain's armband off to Alex Morgan.
Yeah, we'll see it there. Pretty obvious. Again, watching the replay, we see there, Pugh, the frustrations. You could hear the crowd. I knew it was bad.
Well, so much for the continuity between Germa and Dahlkemper. The Wave are going to have to defend the rest of this game out with 10, and then Dahlkemper will have to sit out next week.
And we see a yellow card to Chicago's bench. That was pretty obviously coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dahlkemper, again, gets a red card because that was her second yellow. And now Chicago up a woman for the remainder of this match. Morse, Malazzo, Luber.
The Wave were about to make some substitutions. We'll see if they change it up. Maybe get Kaylee Reel in there as a second center back. They could move Kristen McNabb over. They could go with 3 in the back, which seems an unlikely solution at this point with 30 minutes still to play.
So San Diego played Angel City earlier this month and actually found themselves up a woman and still lost.
Yeah, they were actually dominating that game. It was 1-1. They had equalized. They were kind of dominating the game. Tyler Lucy got sent off. And then Angel City scored like immediately, as if to say, well, let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
And then they sat back again. The Wave dominated, but couldn't find another one.
So they know it's possible. They've been on the other end of it. Chicago. Garma. Malazzo, Pugh, Colaprico. Luber with a cross. Nagasato taps it, and Sheridan saves. Well, that was inches away from Nagasato.
The Wave will also kind of have to make a decision here. Do they want to defend the way they've been defending? Because in the minutes leading up to going down to 10, there was an awful lot of space for Mallory Pugh on balls through midfield and counterattack. So do they want to keep an even game, or do they want to sit back a little bit and maybe absorb more pressure, but give Mallory Pugh less time and space?
Nair comes out in a dangerous situation. The clear. Nagasato. Offside. Pugh a step ahead. Not that this crowd wasn't loud prior, but this has really ignited the crowd. Now up a woman moving forward.
Yeah, it has been a real nice turnout at Soldier Field. Big venue, and it's tough to sometimes, make that seem cozy, but it does appear to be a very solid atmosphere for the first NWSL game at the famous home of the Chicago Bears. And now also the Chicago Fire.
Luber. DiBernardo. Looks like Cook is down for Chicago right now. Their team's going the other way. Luber cuts it back. Pugh rips a shot, and again, it's off target. We'll see if Cook is still down.
Even when Pugh takes a heavy touch, as she did there, still able to recover and get off a decent shot. Cook is back on her feet, but struggling a bit. Training staff so far being waved off.
And just walking gingerly is Cook. Looks like we will get some subs. And as expected, looks like Rio will come in. So Jaden Shaw comes out. What a debut for the 17-year-old.
Can we get a little clap for Jaden Shaw? Debut, goal. Amira Ali was going to be coming in, so Wheel must have had to be a change in tactics to get a second center back on.
Yeah, so Turnbow comes out and Real comes in, so that's the change. See Johnson come out as well, lots of love, because she is the one that assisted on the goal. Beautiful assist, I might add. And it looks like Brady is going to come in.
Substitutions for San Diego in the 64th minute.
And in terms of the pairing in the back with Real and Gurma, you know, Real got a lot of minutes when Dahlkemper was injured, so it's not as if Real and Gurma haven't had time together in the back. So the back line is somewhat restored to order. But obviously playing with 10 after Dahlkemper got sent off for the second yellow.
Substitution for San Diego, exiting the match, number 6, Kelsey Turnbow, entering the match, number 18.
Yeah, so San Diego makes a ton of changes because they really have to get some fresh legs in there.
And the last sub for San Diego, exiting the match, number 33, Katie Johnson, and entering the match, number 23, Belle Brady.
Morse from the back. DiBernardo nearly loses it to Morgan, plays through. DiBernardo goes down and finally a whistle. Looks like Morgan is now wearing that captain's armband that Dahlkemper was sporting before she got her second yellow card.
And I stand corrected because Ali did come into this game, so it was just an extra sub getting Real on.
Lofted over to Lubert. Westfall. There's Ali. The most used sub for San Diego this year. Lubert gets past Westfall. Dishes it off, cutting through. DiBernardo! So close.
Not a good one-touch soccer there. Lubert finally able to beat Westfall, who does wise to hang back there after initially thinking about a challenge from behind. Bernardo unable to find the target on the final product, though.
Well, 10 times this season, San Diego has held opponents to a goal or less. Morgan trying to make something out of nothing, and we're going to get a whistle right outside the box, so a foul prior to that Morgan play. This would be a great spot for San Diego. Starts from Sheridan.
Yeah, punt right to the top of the 18. And a foul drawn right there. Looked kind of like a 50-50 ball to me.
Well, Korniak goes down and now is getting some help from Alex Morgan. And again, boy, they would love some cushion here. Playing with only 10 players on the pitch right now. Korniak's the one that draws a foul. She's always an option on these set pieces. It's going to be Van Egmond.
This has to be a shot, though. No, I don't think this one goes to Korniak.
It is a shot, sort of a weak one at that. Korniak immediately goes down and again got undercut on that. And so we'll get another foul. I think San Diego's looking for cards now.
Again, right off the Sheridan punt. Finds Korniak and gets taken out there. That time Zoe Morse with the foul. Now we could get some service. No, going to play it on the ground.
From Gurma. One hop. Nair has it covered. From right to Pugh. Through some contact. Nagasato. Wide to Hill. Pugh lets it go behind her, but no one's home. Ali. San Diego. Westfall. Milazzo waits for it and just watches it roll. Soldier Field, the nightcap of a doubleheader with the Chicago Fire and Atlanta United of MLS. And now we've got a great one here. San Diego, the Wave, and the Red Stars. And Chicago is up a player right now because of a double yellow on Captain Dahlkemper.
The Wave have done a pretty nice job here, though, of kind of slowing down the game since the red card. It was a lot more wide open in the few minutes before Dahlkemper got sent off than it has been in the moments since.
Gurma. Real. Westfall. Milazzo gets tripped up. Ali turns. Morgan calling for it. Off her shoulder. Across to Korniak. Van Egmond, I mean, for San Diego, you didn't get a shot off, but you get possession. Brand doesn't say that, turn it over.
Great cross, though, by Morgan.
So it sounds like we're getting a ton of subs for Chicago here. Not much of a surprise. So St. George is going to come in. Bianca St. George was with Canada. And she'll take out Rachel Hill. And then we'll see Stevens. And of course the big one is Alyssa Motz. Motz will come in. Cook will come out. And for Motz, this is her final NWSL game in a Red Stars uniform. She's moving on to coach at the college level. Comes in at a huge moment.
Well, and it's good that they got Motz on the pitch because they presented her with a jersey before the game, and the jersey had 143 on it, which is the number of appearances she's made in the NWSL for the Red Stars, and this was her 143rd, so they had to get her in order to make that jersey correct. She does have 16 career NWSL goals.
Pugh cuts through, cross, nobody home. St. George picks it up. Now St. George has a pair of goals this year for Chicago. Makes a move, moving right, tries a cross, and she'll get a corner.
So we saw the beginning of an NWSL career with the 17-year-old Jaden Shaw. And now we are seeing the ending of an NWSL career with the 33-year-old Alyssa Moss. Turned 33 yesterday, by the way.
Pugh. Korniak heads it out. Colaprico rips a shot, deflects off a body. Oh, Milazzo trying to keep it in. See how this happened from Pugh. DiBernardo a little tripped up there.
It seems like anywhere Mallory Pugh goes with the ball, though, she finds a seam somewhere, whether it's for a teammate or a shot or just to maintain possession and get through traffic.
Again, the new players on for Chicago: Stevens, Motts, and St. George. Just to fill you in, the Red Stars up a player because of a double yellow. Stoney has been pretty furious as of late, I think.
Yeah, giving the fourth official an earful. All three cards in the match have gone against the Wave. The early yellows to Germa and Dahlkemper, and the second yellow to Dahlkemper, which has them playing 10v11.
Germa over Ali's head, bounces out. Fans here at Soldier Field eager to get a tally. And the Red Stars have scored as late as 5 minutes into stoppage time at the end of the match, so it's not crazy to think that they could make a comeback here. Stevens is out. And she's got a trio of goals for Chicago. And it looks like we'll have another rookie check in. Chicago native Sarah Griffith will come in the game. Yuki Nagasato comes out. Griffith was actually part of that comeback against North Carolina that we keep talking about, the 2 goals in stoppage time. She led it, just flicked one home from pretty deep, caught the keeper off the goal line.
So plenty of changes for the Red Stars in their hunting of an equalizing goal. It was Jaden Shaw way back in the middle of the opening half. Wave have been defending that ever since.
And defending it pretty well. Right. St. George. Griffith. That one over the head of everybody. Chicago has 7 goals this year out of 20 after the 80th minute. We're approaching that mark. Milazzo. Trying to find Motts. No go there. DiBernardo circles back. Off to right. St. George flicks it in the box. They got some contact here. Behind Pugh, Motts can't get a shot off. Looks like that went off of the 10-year vet.
Looking for the Cinderella finish. While we have a moment, her college coach at Texas A&M, G. Guerreri, gave us a quote, said, "Alyssa is such a great example of what is good about the NWSL. She has shown players through the 10-year life of the league that if you work hard, are a great teammate, and that great community representation with a positive can-do attitude, then you can personally thrive and help the league ascend into greater heights." She is the dream role model for young aspiring women who will bring a treasure chest of experience back to Aggieland, which is where she's going to be an assistant coach. So thanks to G. Guerreri for that quote. And I have to agree in a sense that, you know, players like Alyssa Motts, I think, are what this league is about. Someone that just wanted an opportunity 9 years ago, 10 years ago, and here she is still playing.
Pugh, DiBernardo, St. George in the box, looking for a seam, no. DiBernardo, Korniak head to head, booted out.
And I think the good news is that the next Alyssa Motts, the player who has her career but starting now instead of in 2013, is going to make that much more money and have that much more stability. And hopefully that just continues to grow along with the NWSL and the women's pro game.
In the box, a penalty. Ella Stevens draws the PK, and here's a chance for the equalizer for Chicago. That's Germa.
Yeah, that's Germa, and that could have been a second yellow card.
We'll see if it's Mal Pugh to take this. It's DiBernardo or Pugh. Pugh's kind of working her way behind there, so it could be either. We'll see. Kaylin Sheridan, of course, in net. Now Pugh has taken 2 PKs this year. She's made one and missed one.
DiBernardo, in her career with the Red Stars, has taken 3 and only made 1. And none since 2015.
The crowd behind whoever takes this, it appears to be Pugh.
Yep.
The superstar is back. Huge moment. And again, Kaylin Sheridan, not easy to get past in net for San Diego. So Chicago looking for the equalizer here. Pugh, saved by Sheridan! Off the rebound, cleared out! Kaylin Sheridan, the stop that San Diego needed.
That is 2 games in a row where a Wave goalkeeper saves a late penalty.
Milazzo tries the cross. Sheridan dives out. Boy, you are exactly right. Let's look at this again.
She had that all the way, leaning left the entire way. That's exactly where Pugh went. And then a good job also to prevent that from going out of play for a corner. Great work by the Wave after Germa gave away the penalty.
Everybody is flying around, and finally we'll get a whistle here. And we'll get a card.
Yeah,
as Colaprico is down.
I'm not sure that one shouldn't have been red. I'd like to see that one again.
Yeah, Colaprico's down in a ton of pain right now. Yeah, that's late, and you can see the twist for Colaprico.
Yeah, that's late and hard. From Belle Breedy, and I think that the Wave are lucky to still have 10 in this game.
Well, that could be devastating for Colaprico, who is absolutely crucial to Chicago in the midfield. 29 years old, Colaprico leads the team in blocks along with Milazzo and is down in a lot of pain after a late tackle. Again, we saw the card given out. So Gurma's playing on a yellow. Obviously, we saw Dahlkemper removed because of a double yellow, and Breedy picks one up here late. Morgan talking to Ali.
And you see Colaprico still down.
Casey Stoney talking to the assistant referee. You see Chris Petroselli lingering in the background, hoping that his starting midfielder is all right. Colaprico and Malpew just had a chance for the equalizer, and Kalen Sheridan on a penalty kick made the save.
And just a moment before this, Colaprico was smiling, talking to the trainer, so that should be a good sign that she's okay. Does not have to come off because the foul was carded.
Well, it looked bad, but I'm glad to see she's all right. Colaprico is back in playing, wants to finish this one out for Chicago, who's still down a goal and still up a woman.
And just quickly back to that penalty save. That is Kalen Sheridan's 7th save penalty in the NWSL. She saved 6 as a member of Sky Blue Gotham.
Pugh in the area, tries a cross, and Gurma clears it, but a corner is on the way for Chicago. Take a look at this PK yet again. From Pugh. Nothing much. Colaprico's back. Has that touch out to Malpew. That one floats towards the back post, and Stevens can't get a head on it. Another corner opposite side. It will be Colaprico to take it. Just kidding. It's Pugh.
Yeah, that's the second time Malpew got us there, right? The PK looked like it was going to be DiBernardo. There she comes over to take this corner. Plenty of time left for the Red Stars, though. 3 minutes, and there should be a pretty good amount of stoppage.
From Pugh. Colaprico stops. Slips behind Milazzo. DiBernardo. St. George. Here's Pugh on the right side this time. Blocked by Morgan. Floats up to Stevens, who was waiting for it. Chicago again. Morgan slides. Pugh. Cross is deflected and cleared out.
The Wave are hanging tough, and I don't think we can watch this enough times.
Yeah, again, Kalen Sheridan just, you said it, absolutely reads that well. Chicago is going to get another chance at a set piece. Bianca St. George. Short option here. DiBernardo redirected, and it hops to Sheridan. A little shrug of the shoulders for Kalen Sheridan as Stevens backs off. We'll see this again. from Pugh.
Yeah, once Morgan goes down there, Pugh had a lot of time and space, but that was not Pugh's best work of the evening.
Colaprico. To Stevens in the box. Sheridan stops with her feet, finally picks it up. Chance for Sheridan to catch her breath here. Motts. And retiring after this match is Alyssa Motts. Red Stars would love to get her at least a point.
Go ahead.
Oh, we're going to get 5 minutes of stoppage time. That's what I was going to say.
Going to say, of those 16 career goals for Alyssa Motts, one of them was a stoppage time equalizer against Sky Blue FC. That was in May of 2013.
Ladies and gentlemen, the court of Newsome has indicated.
Look, Chicago will take it however they get it at this point. But a lot of times, some of these, well, twice, the late goals have come off of a set piece in which they go through the air, back post, header to Amanda Kowalski, who is not in the game right now. But that's how it's happened. But again, they've scored 7 after the 80th minute, Chicago. Looking for Pugh, cut off by McNabb. There's time, but it's limited here for the Red Stars. Again, up a player because of a double yellow. Floats in the box. Wrights goes down. Van Egmond clears. And because of the head, or apparent head injury, whistle blows. Stevens looks like she's all right. A little eye roll from Jessica there. Exaggerated perhaps, but. So Stevens will have to get looked at just because of.
Yeah, they called the trainer out.
Yeah, always has to be that way, and that's a good thing.
Did they wave her right back on already? Yeah, it's got to go off. Yeah, she'll get waved right back on, but when the trainer comes out, player has to come off unless it's the goalkeeper, except when the player is fouled, and that foul is a cardable offense, which we saw a few minutes ago with Colaprico.
Stevens still very engaged from that sideline. Now Sheridan will get it, and Stevens will come in. Jaden Shaw scored in the first half for San Diego. That's the only goal we've seen. Mal Pugh had her PK moments ago saved by Kaylin Sheridan to tie the game up. Now up a woman, Chicago looking to complete a comeback, get a point at home in front of a packed house at Soldier Field. Alex Morgan gets fouled and now is going to be slow to get up.
Yep, Alex Morgan will be in no hurry to get back to her feet there after winning a foul, and this will be a good opportunity to kill off a whole bunch of time for San Diego.
Tatum Milazzo from Gurma to Ali. Motts has to slip it by Westfall. Now Ali for San Diego. Takes it to the corner just to kill some time. Everybody's around her. DiBernardo, Colaprico, and Ali falls. Takes the flag with her. Morgan now entangled, and finally it's Chicago ball. Stevens keeps it in. Garma rips it away. Both coaches on edge right now. A lot can go right and a lot can go wrong. And we got a minute.
The Waves seemed pretty comfortable defending this. They looked like they were fairly comfortable defending in the box, and now they're pretty comfortable just kind of mucking up the last few minutes of this one.
Sony, Petroselli, both first-year coaches, both having fantastic seasons. Of course, Westfall just walking. To Morgan. Foul. Olafrico with the knee there. Morgan, Ali, everybody ready for Chicago as she goes straight to the corner, and she's pushed out. The Red Stars have limited time trying to make something happen. DiBernardo sends it forward. Stevens is pushed from behind by Morgan, or excuse me, by Kaylee Reel. Nair will come up. All the way forward, left to chase Griffith. Boxed out by Van Egmond. Sliding down to the pitch is the rookie. Now Kaylin Sheridan, who very well might be the hero in this one with that PK save. And there's a final whistle, and you see Sheridan getting tons of love from San Diego, who ekes this one out against the Chicago Red Stars at Soldier Field. Down a woman. Somehow, some way, San Diego preserves the shutout and wins the game.
An awful lot happened in this one, Maura, and I think that for the Wave, you can talk about talent and tactics, but the thing that
National debut. Somehow San Diego sneaks out with a win. You see Johnson dish off to Shaw for the win. It's the game winner, the hero, the 17-year-old. San Diego wins. Well, we're back at Soldier Field to wrap this one up as San Diego comes into town and ruins the party. The Wave take down the Red Stars 1-0. A lot happened in this one. Alongside Dan Laletta, I'm Maura Sheridan. Let's break it all down, the highlights from Chicago.
Let's pick it up in the 27th minute. Turnover off of the outlet pass for the Red Stars. Katie Johnson comes in on Alyssa Nair. Fools everybody in the building, and Jaden Shaw, first NWSL goal in her debut at age 17. That was all the scoring we would get, but that was not all the action we would get.
Absolutely not, and just a ferocious start for Shaw. Well, Chicago, of course, are not going to stay down for long as Lubert makes something happen in the box here. Flicks it up to DiBernardo, just wide, inches away there for the Red Stars.
Wave would also go down to 10 players in this game, but yeah, DiBernardo really not happy with that effort. 81st minute, though. Here's the best opportunity so far. Naomi Girma takes down Ella Stevens. That is a penalty. Mallory Pugh steps to the spot.
Yeah, another look at this. Remember, yeah, just to mention this, but in the 59th minute, double yellow. So down, and Mal Pugh misses because Kaylin Sheridan makes a fantastic save.
Her 7th PK save as an NWSL goalkeeper, first for the Wave. However, second consecutive game for the Wave that a late penalty preserves a result. That's 4 points based on those PK saves.
Well, so this is exactly what San Diego needed. They needed 3 points to move back up to first, and they do. And now Chicago in third, which is where they've kind of been lingering all game or all season.
And you see the teams chasing the Wave with some games in hand there, but maybe just a little teeny bit of separation now between the Wave and Thorns, and then the mid-pack teams trying to chase.
Well, a fantastic game at Soldier Field lives up to the hype. Jaden Shaw, 17 years old, finishes in a debut game. Kaylin Sheridan has a fantastic PK save. Congratulations to Alyssa Motz on a fantastic NWSL career. From Dan Laletta, I'm Maura Sheridan saying so long. San Diego beats Chicago 1-0.